Hey, everybody. Welcome to Making Connections with Aly. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. Look at all this beautiful people I see on the screen today. I'm excited. Y'all look so sharp. But anyway, let me get back to this. Let me get back to the things. So this is Making Connections. You know, we're here every Saturday at 12 noon and every Monday at 2 p.m. And you saw the flyers that went through in the beginning of the show. If you didn't catch a contact information, something that you're interested in, just check out the Facebook group and all the flyers will be there. And I know the wrestling one, it didn't have all the information, but that is actually a toy drive for Christmas. And so admission to get into the wrestling match is to bring a toy for a child. And so that's what that is for. So make sure you check out all those events, and there's people, giving away boxes for the holidays and things like that. So just want to make sure everybody, if you need help or if you got resources and you want to help somebody, that you know where you can plant your flag, as Kimberly says. So good afternoon, ladies. How are you all doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Aly. Doing well today. Hope you are.
I am. And Miss Darlene, how you doing?
Hi, Alicia. I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm good. Listen, I just want to thank you ladies for taking some time out to be on the show and, just talk to the family. The word capacity has been coming up for several shows. And I just feel like, we're getting to the end of the year. People might be getting a little tired. Now you're reflecting because the show Saturday was about, the message was reset, reflect, and redirect. And so, I feel like though you have to have the capacity to do that, right? And so I wanted to bring you ladies on because you're all entrepreneurs, you're all moms. I mean, you're doing the things. Some of you are building an empire, but still working, a job because Darlene is an educator. She loves that, but she's also building on the side. So before we get started, I'll go around and Kimberly, you can greet the family, tell them a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go to Sharon and Darlene.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me again as a guest. I don't count it lightly. So just tell you a little bit about me. Like she said, I'm Kimberly Roberts. I've actually been a money coach. It'll be, 17 years this year. And I absolutely love helping people win the money game. I think you'll see that as we kind of go through the concepts. Married with 2 children and just excited to be here.
Awesome. Welcome again. And Miss Sharon.
Hello, everyone. I like Kim. I'm excited about being on the show again. Don't take this opportunity lightly as well. For me, I am married, have four grown children, one grandchild. Been a money coach now for 5 years. Just excited to see what's going to happen in 2023 with our communities.
Yes, absolutely. And Dr. Darlene Canty.
Hi, everyone. I'm Darlene Canty. I am, as Alicia alluded to earlier, I am an educator. That's my full time job. I've been a money coach. December 31st will be 1 year since I made that decision to change my life and to change my family's life. So I'm just like all the others. I'm excited, just knowing the possibilities and waiting to see all of those things unfold. And going back to me, I am a wife. I'm a mom of one daughter, and I have bonus children and grandchildren. So that's me.
All right now. Yes, for all the babies and everything. Listen, that's why I said these women, they the ones to have on the show because y'all doing it all, you know. And I know sometimes it's hard to do it all, right? It's hard to, to stay on track or to stay encouraged because life happens, right? So, Kimberly, let's talk about you. You've been in this for 17 years. I know you started when you was about 10 years old. You started
Well,
young, girl.
yeah,
I see.
yeah.
So, but what is it? Because I know every time you talk about it, and I know you, so I know it's right. You said I just love helping people win the money game. So, what is that about?
Yes. So our focus is teaching people about building generational wealth. Unfortunately, that was something that was not taught in my family years ago, not taught in our communities as a whole. And so when I got exposed to the opportunity in the financial literacy and the concepts, I was like a kid in a candy store. I had to tell everybody that I came in contact with about how they could become financially independent. And so hopefully we'll get an opportunity to get into some of those concepts. But it's just been life changing to be able to teach people how to, we call it uncommon money, to make it become common for them to be able to build wealth for their families.
Mm, I like that statement, uncommon, becoming common, because I think that's part of having these conversations. Because people think, oh, well, that's not for me; it's for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Darlene is a doctor. Of course, she should, be wealthy or whatever. But it's really in this stage of the game and in this season of life, God is opening up doors. God is opening up opportunities, and
Absolutely.
opportunities are available for everyone. But I think you have to stretch your capacity to understand that God has no respecter of person. If He'll
Right.
do it for the ladies that's on this screen, He's going to do it for the ladies, the men, whoever are listening to this conversation, right? So, Sharon, I want you to kind of continue in that vein. But why you're in this game, and just a little bit about what I said is for everybody, right?
It is. It is for everybody. It doesn't matter, um, where you came from, because we're all about helping people get to the next level, get to the next dimension in their lives. And when you think about it, our opportunity is so expansive that we see people making millions of dollars who don't even have a high school diploma. So don't allow your lack of education to even stop you from achieving the goals that you think is uncommon for your family. They can be common. You just have to go get them. Stretch your capacity, as Ali said, and don't put a limit on yourself because I believe in Jesus. He's unlimitless. So don't limit yourself when you have an unlimited uh, blank check that you can go write. Okay, yeah. So let's stop putting ourselves in boundaries and in chains. And let's unlock the financial barriers that's been set up in our mindsets so we can get to the next level. Not just me or Kimberly or Miss Darlene, but as a community. That's what we're out here to do, to change the mindsets, the financial landscapes of our communities.
Mm, absolutely. And Darlene, I'm gonna let you pick up on that because sometimes we think, like I said, like Darlene's a doctor, so she's got everything already in place, and sometimes we think that we don't match up to who she is more. I don't. How can I go in business with her? But Darlene, I know Darlene. Darlene is first of all a human being. Darlene is very personable. Darlene loves to encourage people. So I think we have to even change that capacity of how we think of others. Because
Mhm.
Darlene, she's a sweetheart. And so, Darlene, tell us really, because I know being an educator, and then when this opportunity came by, you're like, yeah, because this increases my capacity to educate people, right?
Yes, absolutely, Alicia. And you hit the nail on the head. When this came to me, it was just basically a continuation of what I already do. And then going back to people, maybe thinking that I may have it all together, but mind you, I live in this world and I'm living a life and life happens. And some people may have the income, but you don't know when life is going to happen. So if you are not, educated in that area, or just maybe if not life happening, if you have a lot of, money and you don't have that knowledge to manage it, I mean, that's no good. So that's why this is for everyone, because you don't know anyone's situation. You don't know, where our life is going.
And that's a really good point, Darlene, because I was talking to a lady the other day, and I was just like, and I was just kind of sharing with her, and she just got so excited. She's like, I was really kind of sleepy when I started talking to you, but the more you start talking about money and stuff like that, she said everything in me just kind of woke up. And then she went to experience. She's like, I got to check my credit score. I got to check and see what's on my accounts and stuff. And I mean, what happens is we all know what we should be doing, but life happens. And then, we're like, well, I have my credit score should be good, but you don't know because you haven't checked it. We get insurance. Well, I got insurance when I was coming out of college, but what does your policy say? Do you know what you're insured for? Do you know how much insurance you have? Do you know what kind of policy you have? So I think it's important to really check on, because we do inventory all the time. So you have to do inventory of your life and your goals and what you have set up for your family, because things
Mm.
change, right? So
Mhm.
Kimberly, let's go in the vein of that, just keeping on top of that, because there's so many opportunities that change every year, right?
Yes, absolutely. If you want to go into the vein of life insurance, because I'm just, my whole goal is to educate people on, number one, why they need life insurance and how much they need. Because honestly, that's the only money that we can ever receive or leave to our family members where we don't have to pay taxes on it. It is the first level of building generational wealth, because you can pass that money tax free, and there's no limit on what you can do. Everybody, in my opinion, everybody who have children should have 10 times their annual salary. And if that's not over $1 million, I always encourage people, wealth starts at $1 million, right? For you to start building from there. Everybody should, be in position where they should be looking, how can I leave $1 million, not just for them, but if they invest, and that's one of the concepts we teach, every generation after them life will be different. And that's how we begin to start building generational wealth. That's the first level, understanding, protecting where you are if you have that life insurance in place. So I just think that's so important. And it's a conversation. Years ago, we were taught life insurance was just put in place for burial. And that was only a small percentage of why we even needed life insurance. The real reason was to replace the breadwinner's income. And so we have to talk more about that. We have to let families know that's how you can start building wealth for your family.
Exactly. And Sharon, even with her talking about that, again, is having those conversations because we hear those terms, generational wealth, we hear leaving a legacy, we leave inheritance, but sometimes we just hear that and we, like I said, we know the definition of the word, but like we think it's for somebody else, or we think, well, I'm not going to be able to leave an inheritance because, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. So there's no need for me to come to the conversation. So if somebody was like and had that thought, well, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, so I know I can't leave generational wealth. So why should I have the conversation? What would you say, Sharon?
I would definitely encourage them to sit down with a money coach, because it's all about the mindset. And if you have a poverty a level mindset, then that's where you're going to stay in poverty. And what we do, is we stretch the capacity, and we get them to see it's not as hard as you think it is. We show them simple concepts to put in place one at a time that will get them on track to being able to leave generational wealth, to being able to leave an inheritance for their children's children, and for them themselves to be able to enjoy an independent, freedom of financial lifestyle, while they're here, because we all want to enjoy in the wealth. We don't just want to work hard and die and leave it for someone else. We want to be able to share in it as well. And with the concepts that we use and we put in place for people, it shows them how they are able to do that. Single parents can do it, widows can do it, single people can do it. Anyone can do it if you sit down and you take the time just to learn the concepts. And that's what we do.
Yes, because when you're out there and you have a thought in your mind, like if I say I want to go ice skating, but I know I can't skate. That's scary. I'm like, well, I'm not going ice skating because I can't even skate. But if I go talk to somebody and I get the techniques and they tell me, okay, this is how you do it, you start slow, then that increases my capacity to be like, oh, you know what, I can do this, right? And so, Darlene, just continuing in that vein, some people might think, well, it's too late for me. I'm already 55 years old. I'm going to be retiring in 10 years. What kind of hope do I have? Miss Darlene?
Well, there is hope, and it starts with sitting down with a money coach and being open to hearing the information and being okay with I don't know this. Someone can show me, and I can do better. And that's one thing that we on here try to do is try to relate, to make a connection with people that we talk with, so they will feel that, okay, well, she's been there, she understands, and they're going to be open to receive the information and move forward. But as I said earlier, there is possibilities. All you need to do is just keep an open mind, and as we've been saying, allow yourself to for that capacity, and you will be able to grow. And then one other thing I would like to add, I know in our communities, talking about money, talking about life insurance, that was considered taboo. But one thing I try to, help people out when they have that mindset of, I don't want to leave all this money for my children to mess up. I say, well, okay, well, just think about if your parents would have left you this amount of money, where you would be right now. Just take a minute, reflect on that. And now, wouldn't you want that for yours? And I'll just leave it there for them to think about it.
And that's good because you're asking that question. And what I know from just things that I've studied, when there's a question answered, somehow our body is going to answer, right? It's going to go through our mind to try to figure out that answer. And so it's so important, like you said, because I mean, again, we teach people, okay, I know you think, well, your children are not good with money, but how will they ever get good at money if while we're still here, we don't be the example? We
Mm,
don't teach them. So either way, you're going to leave a legacy, but what kind of legacy are you going to leave? Either way, you're setting an example. So what do you want your example to be? So, Kimberly, let's talk about, still in that vein of, let's even talk about, leaving that legacy and what it looks like for our children, because like Darlene alluded to, you know, the question is, I mean, because we also can teach them how to like put things in a trust, right? So
hmm.
that, you don't have to worry so much about your children making wise decisions until they're ready. You
Absolutely.
have it in a trust, and there's an administrator of that trust
Right.
that helps them. So talk about that, Kimberly.
And I think that's goes back to what Sharon was saying, why you should sit down with a money coach. Because when you can have, a lot of times people are speaking out of just what they saw, and what they've heard, not from experience.
Mhm.
And having a will and trust, all those things I found out are like foreign language in most of our communities. And so when you have somebody that can sit down with you and kind of explain to you how you can set that up, the first time I ever had the conversation with even putting a will in place was so liberating because, I didn't understand all the things that you could put in place, how you would have your wishes carried out, how you would have your children situated, if something was to happen, your property, all the negative things that we see when somebody passed away can really, that doesn't have to be, if that makes sense. It doesn't have to be if we were properly educated on how inexpensive. And if you're with, I would say, a good money coach, like the ladies that are on this call, we give you the resources to get a will free. That is something that is free if you have the resources to it, if you are in the right programs, if you're being educated properly. So, that's one thing that I feel like we can do. And then we can teach our children if we learn more about financial literacy, about investing. That's a conversation that I have with my 11-year-old son even now, about it's a difference between saving and investing. It's a difference between having burial insurance and having income replacement. Taking care of your family or paying a bill for burial. There's a difference in those things. Having a will. I talk to them about property. Things now, even at 11 years old, about having good credit, paying your bills on time. The simple things that we miss along the way, conversations that we feel like, they're too young to have. We need to start those now. But when we get exposed to those things, when we sit down with money coaches and we say, okay, retrain me, because I literally had to be retrained on financial literacy because I jumped out there and didn't really understand credit. And so you have to be retrained on those things, and then understanding why you need life insurance. Does that make sense?
And I like what you said. I mean, there really is a difference between saving money and investing money. People think,
Mhm.
well, I have money in a savings account, da 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 da, but it's just sitting there. How much of an increase are you getting on that money? If you're in a bank, you might be lucky and get 1.5%. But do you know
Mm,
how long it takes your money to grow?
right.
So when you're investing at a higher percentage, then of course your money's growing faster. You're able to do more quicker, and so and those are the conversations that you have. And what I always say, tell people, just go honest, be honest, because right here we don't have no judgment on nobody. I'll tell you where I've done. I'll tell you what my credit score has been. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When I went
Right.
to college, it was all kinds of people sitting there offering you credit cards. I was dumb. I was like, okay, well, I can get one over here. I can get this too. I can't. Okay, I'll take all of them. Mm. Don't let your children do that.
Right.
Alert your children that there are going to be people there making offerings. Get one card because it's good to have one card. You start building your credit. You start learning how to use the card. Don't get all those cards because they're not going to tell you that they're going to increase to 30% interest after that first year. Listen, let me tell you, I'm talking about me. So, Sharon, let's continue. I got a little excited there. But to, again, let's, just jump in there. What you got about?
Like, Kim was saying, when you sit down with us, we go over the concepts. We talk to people all the time about putting your money in the right places, right? um, and using the information that you have growing up. We were always taught, save money. Some people save it under their mattress where it's not getting any interest. Some people are putting it, and most people are putting it in their savings account at the bank or at a credit union. They're not getting a whole lot of interest. But when we sit down with them and we show them that there's other accounts, there's other ways, there's other avenues, other vehicles that you can use to get that same money to grow at a higher rate, you just have to know which vehicle to use. And if you're not getting the education from someone that knows what they're talking about, someone that is seasoned, or someone that has had the training in the field. If you're listening to YouTube or you're listening to TikTok, you're not going to get the valuable information that you need. You're going to get bits and pieces, and you're going to have to try to piece it together. But when you sit down with a money coach that can give you facts and then show you how to put you a plan in place for yourself that can take you from only having 40,000 at retirement to over 1 million at retirement, so you can enjoy your retirement and not go back to being a greeter or bagging somebody's groceries. That's where we come in, y'all. That's what we do. We are changing the financial landscape and the financial trajectory of our families. And we don't just want it for our families, we want to share the information with our communities. We just need you to say, I need this. We need you to say, I'm going to reach out to one of these ladies so they can help me because I want better for my children. I want better for my generations to come, because we don't just teach you first generational wealth.
Come on.
We teach you how your family can live off what you've built for generations to come.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not just setting up you and your children, you're setting up a whole legacy to pass down from generation to generation, children, grandchildren, great grandchildren that never meet you but has a gift from you.
Come
That's what
on.
we do.
Yes, yes. Look, Sharon done got fired up, y'all.
I am. Because listen, I know what it's like to be a single parent, living paycheck to paycheck, not being able to be there for my children at their PTA meetings or at their ball games or their track meets. I missed out because I went and clocked in for somebody else, making their wealth, growing their wealth. Had no idea that there was a legacy behind that. And now that I know, yes, I'm like a fireball. I want everybody to know it.
Amen, sister. I'm with you on that one. And Darlene, let's continue with the flow because again, like she was saying, she started off, we're teaching not just the first generation, but you being an educator. I mean, it's all coming full circle because when you're educating your students, even in college, I mean, you're giving them information to make their life better, to make better decisions, to tell me about it. Why are you in that field?
Well, Alicia, you said it. I I am in education because I know what education can do, and it can change lives. And not only like first generation, it can change, everyone's lives. Anyone you come in contact with, you can change that life and make a difference. So,
Absolutely.
and then just, I mean, and just the gratification that I get knowing that I made a difference with just one. And I feel I get that same gratification when I share this, financial information with people. Um, it may not be a sale, it may not, be building my team, but if I feel that they got one piece of information that's going to make a difference in their lives, then I know not only am I helping them, I am helping anyone who's connected or attached to them. So this a
Mhm.
win-win for everyone.
That's right, because you have definitely planted that seed, right? I'm gonna tell you about even when I came back to Christ. I don't even know what I was doing. I think I was with a friend, and this lady was asking me to come to her church, and I was like, Lord, no. But and I went on about my business. But when I started feeling that unction, okay, this what I'm living right now is not it. I need something different. I ain't talked to that lady since she asked me to come to her church, but she's the first person who came to mind. So sometimes, like you said, Darlene, people might not be ready right then because it might seem overwhelming. But then because you planted that seed, and when God starts speaking to them, okay, it's time to make a difference, it's time to shift, they be like, Miss Darlene was telling me about, let me contact Miss, where's her number at? Hey, don't, ain't you Miss Darlene's class? Tell her to call me. And that's how it works. We know that every time we sit down, and we might not get a sale, but like they keep saying, it's about the education. It's about planting that seed. It's about letting people know that there are opportunities. When we came to invest, and y'all hear me say this on the show all the time, back in the day, 25, 30 years ago, yeah, you was like, well, I can't invest because they said I need to start $25,000. I don't have 25,000. But now things are changing. I'm telling you, there are opportunities. You can start where you are.
Mm.
When we talk about everybody's budget on here, we're all in different places, but we each started where we could. And for me, I may not be running as fast as some of them, but I'm wise enough to know to stay connected. So let's talk about it, Kimberly. Take the ball and run with it.
Awesome, awesome. So when you talk about staying connected and making sure that you're on track, as we're coming to the closer to the end of the year, I always tell people to do a self evaluation, and ask yourselves some important questions. Where am I far as getting out of debt? That's one of the questions everybody should be asking themselves. What is my debt freedom date? Okay, because we should owe no man nothing but love, right? We have to get ourselves in that position. And so, but if we're not asking ourselves that question, what is my debt freedom date? That's a thing that just kind of goes over our head, right? And we stay in bondage of being in debt because we're not asking, and we're not seeking the answer to that. Number two is, if I was to leave this earth today, how would I leave my family? Okay. And if we don't know the answer to that question, and we're talking about financially here, when I ask them, how would you leave your family? You know, that's something that we should immediately sit down with the money coach and say, you know what? Because when I ask the question, if money wasn't an option, how much wealth would you want to leave your family? People say millions of dollars. But normally they have no clue how to do that. They assume that some of them assume it's not affordable, or they assume that's something that they should plan later. But in reality, that's a question that you should be asking and answering all at the same time, you know? So, and what I found out is that it's not as expensive as people think it is. I thought carrying $1 million worth of life insurance was going to be so expensive. It's not. It's really not. You know, it's so affordable. I always tell people it's less than a Starbucks coffee a day. You know, and how many people go to Starbucks, right? But we're talking about a decision. If once you close your eyes for the last time, that's a decision that you cannot go back and make right. So sitting down and getting the answer to that and finding out what you can afford based on your current finances, because we can literally work with every budget, right? And getting that question answered, you know, how do I set my family up financially? Because we like I said, that's a decision that you can't go back on once that's said and done. And I think the last question we have to ask ourselves are, am I growing? Am I in a position where I'm growing wealth? Because at some point we're going to have to retire. Whether we want to or not, at some point your body is going to set you down. Does that make sense? So we have to be in position where we've replaced our income, right? And if we still want to work, we're doing things that we desire to do, not things that we have to do that's more strenuous on our body. So I think as we come into the end of the year, I think people just have to start asking themselves real questions. And I get excited when I ask myself those questions, because now I'm eagerly trying to find the answer, because there are answers to those questions.
There absolutely are. And like you, there was a time I didn't want to ask myself those questions because I already knew, and I don't want to face it right now, because I was like, ugh. But it's so freeing, whether it's a little tug, whether it's a struggle to get there, it's freeing to ask those questions. It's freeing to look back and see, okay, really, where am I? What do I need to do? And like Kimberly was saying, she brought up something for me. I didn't think about. I mean, I knew my parents was gonna get older. I mean, I knew that, but sometimes then you have parents that they get older, but they might have mobility issues. They might need physical therapy, but your insurance only pays for 20 hours every year. What kind of physical therapy are your parents really getting?
Mm.
Put yourself in the place that if they need it, you can have private care. So that's something for me. I was like, if I had really sat down with a money coach, if I really was honest when I went, if I didn't feel all the shame and stuff, and shame will make you sit still, do nothing. Don't allow shame to control your life, because there's no shame in it. It's life. We all come to decisions at a different time. But now it's time to tell shame to go sit in the back row. We don't have time for shame anymore. We don't have
Mhm.
time to wait and, well, let me pay this bill off, da 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 da, and then I'll go talk. And I hate to bring conversation, but what about those the anchorman and the helicopter pilot went out every day like they typically do to report on the news, report on the traffic, and didn't come home that day. Prayerfully, their families had everything in place. But again, it was something they did every day. He did not think at the age of, in their 30s, I think the anchor man was, that he would be leaving 4 children and a wife behind.
Mm.
We do not know the time or the hour, right, Sharon?
That's correct. That's one thing we cannot predict is death, but we can be ready, and we can not only be ready with our spiritual life, we can be ready financially, and that comes with, like you said, putting off the shame, putting off the guilt, and anything else that's keeping you oppressed with an oppressed mindset when it comes to your finances, and just sitting down with someone and being honest. Like Kimberly said, we can work with just about any budget that you have. Um, we can work with just about any age that come at us. We will say it's better to start early, but if you've waited, it's not too late. There are avenues that you can still take. So don't allow anything that comes up before you, any obstacles that come up before you, stop you from reaching out to somebody. There's a solution to the problem. If there's a problem, trust me, there is a solution. We just have to sit down and you just have to be open and honest and, have the hard conversation. Don't be ashamed. It's okay. Because when I had to have it, and Kimberly is my financial coach, when I had to have it, I had to be open and honest. Look, Kim, this is what it is. You know, you have to strip off the face and just get down to the nitty gritty because we're talking about your family's legacy. We're talking about what you're going to leave your family. And we have, been in a season for so long in our generations and in our community where we've left debt, where we left heartache, where we've left stress and anxiety and depression. We've left our families worse off, and they don't deserve that. We are trying to get our community to understand that just like you see other people leaving estates and trust funds, you can too. Because nobody's better than you. We're all equal here. We're on the same playing field. Some may have a head start, but it doesn't mean you can't catch up. So that's where the financial coaching comes in with the money coaches.
And Darlene, just like she's saying, it doesn't mean that, just because somebody has, maybe a leg up, that it's never too late, right? And I mean, this is such a sensitive subject, and but it's so invigorating at the same time, Miss Darlene. I mean, because how many times have you seen a GoFundMe, when a person dies and people are asking for money to bury their loved ones? And my thought is, if we're asking for money to bury that loved one, then where does the family go next?
Mm-hmm.
Pay the light bill? Are they going to be able to keep the house? What's next? How does that feel when you see that, Darlene?
It just makes me feel very terrible, and I know that feeling personally, um, and just like you were saying earlier, Alicia, about you know about the anchoring and the you know didn't know that well, his family didn't know that, or she, I don't know, the story, but you don't know what's going to happen. um just like when I was 25 years old, coming home from work like I normally do, I did not know I was going to come home and find an unresponsive husband, with my 8-month-old daughter right there, and then him not having the proper life insurance, and I'm having to go to the funeral home, and embarrassed that I'm gonna have to ask for payments to pay for his funeral. I know how that feels, and I just want everyone to know that there are options. You can't compare your finances to someone else is saying, well, they have more money than I do. Talking with a money coach will let you know that we have a plan that will fit you. It's we can custom fit whatever you need, whatever fits your budget. We can provide that for you. So don't think yourself out of getting the help that you need. And it kind of makes me think of, like, when sometimes some of us, when we get sick, we go on Google and then we diagnose ourselves, and have us almost in the grave before we even go to the doctor. Go to the doctor, go to the professional, go to the people who can help you, and they will, lead you where you need to go. The same thing with your finances. Don't count yourself out. Talk to someone who can help you.
Exactly. I'm just laughing because I think about one of my coworkers, honey. I can tell her something. She'd be like, "Well, maybe you got this," and I'm like, "Girl, be quiet now. Wait, you don't know. I ain't even told you all the symptoms. I told you one thing. Now you got me in the grave." So you are right, and I mean, is Google is great, but like I think even Sharon was saying, I mean, but you hear so many different opinions, and that can be overwhelming until you sit down and get an understanding of all the different ones because there's term, there's universal, and then you're like, well, this one said this and this, but you got to sit down with, like Kimberly says, a good money coach that's going to tell you about each one. We don't just tell people about what we do, but we say, hey, look, let's compare what we do to what's out there because we want to make sure that you have the best informed decision for you. And like Darlene says, we can start anywhere. And one of the things we do is we give you a budget sheet because, like Kimberly says, a lot of people think they can't afford it. But when we take you through that budget, and I tell people with that, be honest with your budget. I tell people get a manila envelope, put every receipt for the month in that envelope. Because sometimes we forget we went to Starbucks. Sometimes we forget we gave the kids $5 to go to the game. Everything that you have a receipt for, put it in there. And if you don't have a receipt, like you gave the kids $5, write it down and put it in that envelope. So at the end of the month, you really see how much money came in and where it went out. Then you can start redirecting your funds and really see, oh well, I do have $50 I can start with. Cause I know for myself, I blow $50 going out to eat, go to the movies. I mean, it just happens. But then I was like, I'm getting older. I might need to put this $50, because what I'm saying is you only have to sacrifice temporarily. Like Sharon said, because then I want to enjoy this life right here while I'm here,
Mm.
right? So I'm going to sacrifice temporarily, make this investment. It's going to grow my money. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can go buy me some red bottoms. No, I'm not buying red bottoms because I don't even wear heels. But y'all know what I'm saying. You just sacrificing temporarily. Or what, Kimberly?
Buy me a pair, don't worry.
But it's only temporary. But I feel so much better coming to Vegas when I know my bills are paid at home. So see, we're just saying, getting back to kind of the message from Saturday, you got to reset, you got to reflect, and just redirect because you got to have a goal and a purpose, and you can get there if you just stay consistent, if you stay connected to the right people. You can do this. We on here to encourage somebody. We here to let you know that we real women just like you. We made some mistakes, stayed in some relationships, invested in some things that we didn't even know what we was invested in. We didn't take the time to get the information because it was our best friend told us to do it. Then we don't talk to best friend because they lost money too and they embarrassed because they made us lose money. It happens. Life happens. But we want you to be encouraged. So, ladies, we're going to take a quick break. And these are not even my words, these come from D. Lee Ministries. But those words: reset, reflect, and redirect. So, Darlene, which one you want to take?
I'll take reset.
Okay. Sharon, Kimberly, you have to get what's left. Sharon, which one you want? Reflect or redirect? Reflect. Kimberly, redirect. I thought that was appropriate for you. God did that. But we're going to talk about, really what it means because another thing my friend Alexis and I were talking about is money has an energy. Money is not just physical, but money is emotional. Money is energetic. Money is every aspect of you, right? And so sometimes we have to deal with those things. There's an energy to it, but we can control that energy. There's a path to it, but we can control that path, right? So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to hear a song. It's called This Holiday with You by Chops Turner. Y'all know the last show of the year for Making Connections happens to be December 31st. So we're doing a little end of the year concert. So the artists that come on we're not just going to play their music, but they're actually going to be performing. So Chops Turner is on the lineup. So we're going to hear a song from Chops Turner and one other commercial by a young lady who does Scentaholic Creations. She makes candles, sea moss, all this good stuff. So stay tuned, and we're going to hear more with Kimberly, Sharon, and Dr. Darlene. Stay tuned. So I'll keep talking. This happens. Sometimes I forget to alert Alan that what we're going to do. So to us.
Happy holidays, everybody. Let's make a plan. It doesn't need to be in winter wonderland. We can be on the beach, laying in the sand. Heaven definitely knows, as long as I'm with you, I don't care if it snows. It's that time of year for holiday cheer. It's the magical season that makes the world feel so new. Don't need no mistletoe, but one thing I want to do is spend this holiday with you. This holiday with you. With you. Real gifts of holiday time are things that don't cost a dime, like spending time alone. But of course, I never refuse my favorite cologne. Get a little something for you to hold. They know how fond you are of diamonds and gold. The right present for me, not under the tree. It's the magical season that makes the world feel so new. Don't need no mistletoe, but one thing I want to do is spend this holiday with you. This holiday with you. With you. It's the magical season that makes the world feel so new. Don't need no mistletoe, but one thing I want to do is spend this holiday with you. This holiday with you. thing of beauty. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Send me in love that you cannot mix. One is the joy that you cannot waste, and the other one price that you cannot fix. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Finding a way when you cannot see. Man with this system he cannot pray. I need to find relief. But behind my mind it runs all these thoughts I've.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Making Connections with Aly. Like I said, that first song, This Holiday with You, can be found on all streaming platforms. Chops Turner is the artist, and it was produced by the Googleadas, who are an Emmy, Grammy awarded, no, nominated um, group. And they also did our theme music, Making Connections with Aly. Woohoo! And so Chops is on the lineup. And then we had Senseaholic Creations. That's how you can find her on Facebook and TikTok. And she's not reselling these candles, she actually makes the candles. And so she mixes the scents and all that kind of stuff. So it is the holiday season. Y'all know we love some good scents, burn a nice little candle. And even if you're on that journey of being more conscious with your weight and things like that. She does the sea moss. I have actually purchased it, tasted it, put it in my little juices. So she's straight. So Senseaholic Creations. All right, ladies. Now, again, everybody, these are not my words. They came from the interview on Saturday with D. Lee Ministries, Donald Lee. And he said the Lord gave him those three words: reset, reflect, and redirect as we come to the end of the year. Because we want to finish strong. We want especially, I'm passionate right now about women. We get at the end of the year and we're like, oh, we're tired. But we need to think about where we've been and think about where we're going, right? And so, Darlene, the word reset, what you got for me?
Okay, when I think about the word reset, I think about starting anew, clean slate, forgetting about the things that happened that didn't go right. It just And then one good thing about resetting, you can do that at any time, at any moment. You can reset. If you have to reset your mind twice a day, you have that opportunity to do that. And when I think about like with your phone, your smartphone, sometimes you may have to reset it if it's not acting right, and you may lose some things, and that may be a good thing to lose some
Mm.
things when you reset, because hopefully it's those things that's been holding you down and causing you not to move ahead like you need to. And thinking about going into the new year, let's not wait until New Year's Eve or the first of the year to reset. Reset now, so that way you will already have your mind set and ready to go. So when that year comes in, you already have that momentum going. So that's reset for me.
Yes. And so you see Darlene's information there, Darlene J. Canty at gmail.com. If you want to talk to her, you reach out to her, she inspired you with something she said today, there is her contact information. And Miss Sharon, she had the word reflect.
Yeah. So when we think about reflect, the first thing that came to my mind was looking in a mirror. Because when you look in the mirror, you see your reflection. You see who you are in your natural state. Makeup gone, hair out. You get to see the real you. So when we reflect on our finances, that's what we see, what nobody else sees. We see the down and dirty. We see the good. We see the bad. We see the ups and we see the downs in our financial states. So when we reflect on our finances, it gives us the opportunity to see the mistakes that we made, where we went left, where we should have went right. It shows us what we gained in and what we lost in financially. It also gives us the opportunity to say, okay, well, what am I reflecting out to others? Are they seeing this that I'm trying to cover up? And that means because reflection is in place, it's a time to just be honest. Fix what has been gone, what was wrong. Keep propelling on what you've done right. Get things in order, because even when the sun reflects, it's going to expose some impurities, right? All we have to do is fix it, y'all. Let's sit down, take time to understand that it's okay when we look back over the year and we see the areas that we fell short in. It's not 2023 yet. So you can get on the track now after you reflect on it and you see it. You can start now so that you will be in a better position going into 2023. Because my coach told me if you wait to 2023, and Kimberly Roberts is my coach, told me if you wait to 2023, you're already behind. So in your reflections, don't get disappointed. Don't beat yourself up. See what you can do to advance even farther in 2023 with your finances.
All right, all right. And that's Miss Sharon Wilson Lenny. Her email was Sharon A. Wilson 73 at yahoo.com. Again, if she said something to inspire you and you want to reach out to her, sit down and have a conversation, that's her contact information. And last but not least, our fearless leader. And we do give her props because she is the coach of all of us. Sometimes when I'm looking at
Yes,
her face and she goes,
yes.
my coach said, she'd be like, what did I say? Because she know. But I can say she stays consistent with us. She stays truthful with us. She encourages us. And so, Kimberly Roberts, shout out to you today. But your word was redirect.
Redirect. All right, you ladies have did an amazing job. Just kind of, I'm just taking notes in my mind, like, okay, I got it, got it. So redirect, the definition, in my opinion, of redirect is the synonym is to change. So you're changing the course of what you're actually doing. So when you think about redirecting your finances, look at where you can make changes that's going to put you on the give you the right course of action. And what do I mean by that? They were talking about how you can waste money, and I think the analogy that Alicia gave you was just so phenomenal. How many people have ever done this though, where you've calculated everything that you spent out for the month? So it gives you an opportunity. Redirecting just really just gives you an opportunity to correct any mistakes that you've made, and even gives you an opportunity to correct, even if it's not a mistake, how to get better and how you're going to do things going forward. So, as we're going into 2023, when you think about making changes, that should be something that you immediately do. Like when we get off this call going into the week, you should be redirecting yourself week over week. How can I get better? How can I um, have the right course of action for this week? What did I not get accomplished last week because of the course of action that I took? And now I'm choosing, redirecting is a choice. I'm choosing to redirect the actions that I take so I can get to the next level. And so that's how I would perceive redirecting a positive light. It's definitely something positive.
Absolutely positive. So that's Kimberly Stroud Roberts at primerica.com. Again, Kimberly Stroud Roberts and in at primerica.com. And I'll definitely put their contact information in the description of the video when we finish up. But listen, you ladies have been amazing. I love coming together with you because I get encouraged, and inspired to keep going myself because like I said, we're all on this journey. We all have steps that we still need to implement. And so for me, resetting my mindset, resetting that energy, and on a daily basis, it's a daily walk, right? So It's the same thing with weight. It's the same thing with relationships. It's a daily decision. And so maybe you didn't do good today. Maybe you did go out and blow, but it's okay because tomorrow is coming. But let's not continue tomorrow, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You know what I'm saying? But so give yourself grace. Okay? Reset the grace that you give yourself. Reset the forgiveness that you give yourself, right? And then reflect. You know, okay, well, what could I have done better? What steps could I have taken? What steps can I implement tomorrow? Who can I reach out to today? Okay, Kimberly told me this, but then Darlene said something about you can reach out to all of us for different things. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all different in our own way. And we're all a team, so we don't even care. As long as you get what you need. And then redirect that energy. Redirect your thoughts, redirect your desires to a path of prosperity, to a path of freedom, to a path of peace. It's going to it's a process, but you can get there. And that's what we're here to let you know. You can make it happen for you and for the generations to come. All right. I don't even have any children, but I'm affecting generations. So let's not talk about what you don't have because you have somebody that you're influencing. Somebody is watching your life. You're an example to somebody, okay? So you can always reach me at info@aliciajohnson.com. That's info@aliciajohnson.com. We are making connections with Aly. We're here every Saturday at 12 noon and every Monday at 2 p.m. Y'all better come back to the concert, okay? That will be on December 31st. We're going to extend the time of the show so all the artists have enough time to perform. And if you want to be on the show, maybe you have something you want to add, go to calendly.com/making connections TV if you'd like to be a guest or if you'd like to suggest a guest. All right, ladies. Well, again, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the wisdom that you shared. You guys, you're always welcome back and they will see you again, right? Y'all know that, right? So you guys go and have an amazing day. Get lots of contacts and listen, let's keep spreading this word and sharing this information because it definitely is life changing. So, all you watching, make sure you like the video, share, tell your people about it. Maybe you're in a good place, but you know somebody who's not. Just ask the question. Maybe you're a little, I don't know if I want to ask the question. Let Kimberly ask the question. She's brave. So, but listen, we are here for you. And again, until next time, because we got to run. As always, we're leaving you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks, ladies.